I'm starting recording. Just 2 minutes. Good afternoon, students. Thank you for joining today's session. We have changed the timing of today's session due to some connectivity problem. Thank you for cooperating and supporting us. We have today's session with Mrs. Vaijayanti Evle Madam. She is ME Electrical and has 15 years of teaching experience. In today's session, she will explain the working and different types of motors. So, are you ready, students? Okay, over to Evle Madam.
So good evening, one and all. I am Mrs. Vaijayanti Evle from YV Patil Polytechnic. Now before this, you have seen the different types of robots. What are the different types of electronics which is used in robotics? And today we will see what are the different types of motors which are used in robotics and why we have to use these motors. So I will start presenting. So in the first PPT, you can see that the robot is moving. Each and every part of the robot, it is moving. Now that's why we have to learn different types of motors which are used in robotics. So we'll start with role of motor in robotic system. So for that, we will consider one robot in which three systems they have shown. So the first system, it is called as sensory system. The second one, it is called as control system. And the third one, it is called as actuation system. Now for understanding these three systems, we will compare these systems with our body systems. That is, robot is our body. Sensory system, it is our different types of senses. For example, eyes, nose, skin. They give the signal or they detect the different quantities and they give the signal to the brain. So the brain of the robot, it is the control system. So you can say that the control system is the brain of the robot, and the signals which are detected by the sensory system, they are given to the control system. Now the role of control system is to process each and every signal given by the sensory system, and it will process that data and it will give the signal to the actuation system. So what is an actuation system? Actuation system is nothing but again we can compare our body. Whenever the brain gives a signal to the muscles will give the movement. This is called as actuation system. Now actuators, why they are used? So actuators, they are used for producing mechanical movement in robots. You can say that these are muscles of robots. There are many types of actuators available depending upon the load involved. So one of the actuator, it is the motor. Now, motors are one of the primary mechanisms by which robot move. So main reason behind the movement of robot is motor. Some motors can be attached to the wheels that drive a robot around. So robot will move around and around when the motors are connected in wheels. Second one is other types of motor might cause joints in a robot limb to move. So again the robot limbs can move by using motors. Third one is robot has different types of effectors. Now effectors means what? It is the end part of the robotic arm. Now robotic arm, it has different types of effectors. For example, it will be a hand or it will be a tool. So for the movement of that tool, the motors are required. So in this one, you can see that this robot is moving. All the joints in the robots, they are moving. This is the effector of this particular robot. Now we will see different types of motors which are used in robotics. The first type of motor, it is called as DC motor. Second one is brushless DC motor. Third one, stepper motor. And the fourth one, servo motors. Now in servo motors, there are two types of servo motors. First one is DC servo motor and the second one is AC servo motor. Now, before going in detail with motors, we will see what are the different types of supply which are given to the motor. So the first type of supply which we are using daily, that is called as single phase AC supply. So in this one you can see the graph of current, voltage versus time. So you can see that at 0, the current or voltage is 0. It is increasing gradually. Again, it is decreasing 0. It is becoming negative. Again, it is coming to 0. So we can say that this type of supply, it is changing with respect to time or it is alternating with respect to time. And that's why this type of supply, it is called alternating current supply. So the standard voltage for the alternating current supply is 230 volt and the frequency is 50 hertz. Now the second supply is called as three-phase AC supply. Now in single phase supply we have seen that there is a single phase, but if we want to take single phase supply from the switchboard, we require two wire. So one wire is required for completing the circuit. So that's why in case of single phase, two wires will be required. In case of three phase supply, there are three phases: R phase, Y phase and B phase. And that's why in this graph you can see that there are three waveforms of voltage or current which are varying with respect to time. Again you can say that all the voltage and current of three phases, they are varying with respect to time. And that's why this is called as three-phase AC supply, three-phase alternating current supply. The third type of supply, it is called as direct current supply, that is DC supply. Now again I have shown the graph of current or voltage with respect to time. And in this graph you can see that the voltage or current, it is constant, it is not changing. So that's why this is called pure DC supply. The second graph, it is slightly different than the first one. The difference is that in this graph, the voltage is 0, increasing up to maximum. Again, it is reducing to 0, but it is not changing its direction. It is not negative. And that's why this type of DC supply, it is called as pulsating DC supply. Okay. So we have seen three supplies: single phase AC, three phase AC and DC. So the first motor we will see, which is called as DC motors. Now before going in detail of DC motors, we will see the one video in which the movement is given for the robotic arm by using DC motor. Now you have to observe that this movement, it is given by transmission and gears to each and every part of this robotic arm. So watch the video. So you can see the motion. You can see the motion which is given by DC motor. It is transmitted to this effector robotic arm.
Madam will rejoin. There is connectivity problem.
Hello.
Yes, rejoin.
Okay. So shall I start that video again?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So all of you, have you seen the video? Have you understood how the motion is transmitted to all the parts of robotic arm? Okay. Okay. Now we will start with the next one, that is a cross-sectional front view of DC motor. Now DC motor we are going to see in detail. We will compare this DC motor with stepper motor and servo motor. So in this first diagram, I have shown cross-sectional front view of the DC motor. Now what is the meaning of cross-sectional front view? If you see the motor, DC motor, if you cut this motor at the middle point, you can see this motor, DC motor construction. So if you cut this motor at the middle point, and if you take the front view, then you can see all the internal parts of the DC motor. So this is called cross-sectional front view of DC motor. Now we will start from the outer part of the motor, which is called as yoke of the motor. Now this yoke, it provides protection to all the internal parts of the DC motor. Inside the motor, the first part, you can see that there are number of poles which are connected inside the motor. So how many poles you can see? There are 4 poles inside the motor. Now over each pole, you can see that winding is wound, and the terminal for the winding, it is coming from the terminal box which you can see outside the motor. So one terminal is coming inside, it is connected over this pole, Again, same connection, it is going to the second one. Again, it is going to the third and fourth. So you can say that winding is connected in series with each other so that same current will flow through each winding. Okay. Now the second DC supply, you can see that remaining two terminals, they are going to middle part of the motor, which is called as commutator. So two DC supply we have to give to the DC motor. First supply, it is given to the poles, and the second DC supply, it is given to the commutator and brush. Have you understood, all of you? Any difficulty in this one? If you have any difficulty, you can put it in a chat box. Now, the first part we have seen, that is field poles, winding. Now the third part we will see, which is called as armature. So the circular part, it is called as armature core. And inside this armature core, you can see dotted thing is there. So that is called as conductor or copper wire. Okay. And the last part is commutator and brush. Now we will see each part one by one. So the first part, it is called as field pole. One. Okay. Now in this field pole, you can see that it has number of sections. So one section of the field pole, it is called as one lamination. Number of laminations, they are attached together to form one field pole. Now why this is done? Because if you switch on the motor and if the motor is on for number of hours, its temperature goes on increasing. So we have to limit the temperature of the motor. So that's why we have to use laminations in case of DC motor so that the temperature inside the motor will be controlled automatically. Now over this, you can see that field winding is wound. So this is called field winding, which is made up of copper. Now whenever the supply is given to this field winding, the field pole will get magnetized and it will produce magnetic flux. So this is the function of field pole and field winding. Now second part of the DC motor, it is called as armature. We have seen in cross-sectional front view the armature. So if you see the armature, it is made up of again laminations. So this is single lamination, and when number of laminations they are connected together, it will form one armature core. Now on each armature core, you can see that number of slots are provided. So in each slot, winding is connected inside that particular slot. Armature, it is the rotating part of the armature. So whenever the motor is switched on, the rotating part will be the armature. In DC motor, this armature, it is supplied with current, and when the current carrying armature is kept in a magnetic field, it will experience a torque and it will start rotating. So once this armature rotates, the shaft will also rotate. Now you can see that in next diagram, armature winding, it is connected inside each slot of the armature, and this winding, it is supplied with the DC current. Now whenever the DC current is given to this winding, it will again produce a magnetic flux. So now tell me, how many fluxes are produced in the motor? First, we have given supply to the field pole. So it will produce magnetic flux. So this is one flux. Second one, whenever the supply is given to the armature winding, again it will produce magnetic flux. So two magnetic fluxes are produced in the DC motor. And these two fluxes, they will will exert a pressure on the armature so that it will rotate in particular direction. So this is called as torque. Torque means force exerted on the armature into distance traveled by the armature. So that is called torque. Now next one you can see commutator. So after this armature core, you can see that copper type construction is there, so which is called as commutator. So each commutator, it is made up of copper segment. So number of segments you can see over this commutator. Each armature winding, it is connected to one copper segment. So one set of winding, it is connected to one segment. Now, in DC motor, why we have to use commutator and brush? So I will show you this diagram or animation. In this one, you can see that these are the two field poles. This is the armature winding, which is wound over the armature. Each winding, you can see that it is connected to commutator. Okay, and this commutator finally it is connected to the brush. So in this one you can say that brush is sliding over the
हॅलो जरा स्लो बोल म्हणजे शब्दांमध्ये अंतर ठेव फास्ट होते खूपच नेटवर्क प्रसारित होऊन ऐकायला वेळ लागतो जरा स्लो बोल Yes, again due to network problem. She is trying to join once again. Please hold on.
now again from this we will start. Hello.
Vatlavande madam, can
Yes, madam.
she audible?
Yes, yes. You can continue, madam.
Am I audible to you,
Yes.
all of you? Yes, I am audible.
Hello.
Yes, madam. You can continue.
Hello. I like it. Continue. Hello.
Yes, madam. You can continue.
Madam, we are.
Yes, madam.
Hello.
You can continue.
परत लेफ्ट चालली तू
Sorry for the disturbance. So again, we will start from here. That this commutator connected with the brush. Now, now the last part of the motor, it is called as shaft. So why the shaft is required in case of motor? Because we want to take output of the motor, the output from the motor. Now we will see one video. Now in this video you can see that robotic arm it is used, and this robotic vehicle it is run by using DC motors. Now in this vehicle sensors are connected. So whenever there is a obstacle, the DC motor will stop. Now in this robotic vehicle you can see that the motor it is rotating only in one direction. When the supply is stopped, the motor will stop. So that is the use of DC motor in case of robotics. Again, there is a network problem. So in this animation, you can see the working of DC motor. Now the second type of motor we will see, which is called as stepper motor. Sorry, we will see brushless DC motor. Now the major difference between normal DC motor and brushless DC motor is that in case of this motor, brush is not there. So brush are not connected in this type of motor. So we cannot give separate DC supply to this rotor of the motor or armature of the motor. So that's why in this type of motor, instead of armature, poles are connected. So two poles are rotating, which are already magnet. So there is no need to give separate supply to the armature of this motor. That is the major difference between brushless DC motor and the DC motor. Now, the advantage of brushless DC motor is that in this type of motor, there is no sparking because brushes are absent. So this type of motor can be used in different types of applications easily. So I will show you one of the application. That is, it is used in drone. Can you see the motor? So this is the one of the application of DC motor which is used in drones. Now the next type of motor, it is called as stepper motor. So what is the stepper motor? Stepper motor, it rotates in steps. So that's why the name of this motor, it is stepper motor. Now, construction of DC motor and this motor will be nearly same with only one difference that in stepper motor, the armature, it has no supply. Armature, again, it is made up of permanent magnet, or you can say that it is a natural magnet which is directly connected as a armature or rotating part of the motor. In this one, supply is given to each stator winding one after another. The supply is given one after another. So as the supply is given to one winding, it will produce either north pole or south pole, and that pole will be attracted by second pole or another pole of the armature, and the armature will rotate in steps. So that's why in case of stepper motor, supply is also given in steps and we will get output in steps. So the name is stepper motors. Again, I will show you one video in which stepper motor is used. Now, why the stepper motor is used? Because if we want to build a robot that can fetch coffee or tea, then you can put an ordinary motor in it for moving around. But for spreading his arms and collecting the coffee and delivering it safely, we have to do it by using stepper motor. So I will show you one video in which you will understand the working of stepper motor. So have you enjoyed the video in which you can see that the step movements are given to the robot by using stepper motor. Now again in this slide you can see that the hand of the robot, it is moving in particular direction. It is moving at a particular position. So we have to control these movements, and these movements can be controlled by using stepper motors inside the robot. Now next one we will see use of servo motors in the robotics. So again servo motors, they are exactly similar to the DC motors, only with one difference that so feedback control system, it is connected in this motor. Now these are used because these types of motors are small, powerful. We can program these motors, and these motor movements, they are accurate. So I will show you feedback control system in servo motor. Now in this one, this is the symbol for servo motor. Now this servo motor, it is giving particular output. For example, it is giving the speed in RPM, that is 1500 RPM. Now, if the load or output of the motor required is 1000 RPM for particular application, then feedback loop, it will send the signal to the error detector that reduce the speed. The amplifier, it will give the signal to the servo motor to reduce the speed by 500 RPM. So we will get the output as 1000 RPM. So this is the use of feedback. Now this type of servo motor, this type of servo motor, it is used in applications where repetitive motion is required, that is welding, painting, material handling, assembling and palletizing. So again, I will show you one video in which this servo motor, it is used in robots, and that robot, it is used for welding in the automotive industry. Shall I start the video again? Have you seen, all of you? So now in this video you have seen how the robots, they are controlled by using servo motors. Now how to control a robot? There should be a control system for controlling the particular robot. So for controlling the robot, there will be two types of network. First one is wired or wireless. So easiest way is to use wired network. Now in this block diagram you can see that microcontroller, it is used for controlling the movement of motor. Now in this block diagram we can see that the feedback control system is present. That means servo motor, it is connected with the microcontroller, and this total system, it will control the operation of the motor. And the second controller, it is by using programmable logic controller. So programmable logic controller, it can program the operation of the robot as per our requirement or application. We can feed the program to the programmable logic controller, and the robotic movement, that will be controlled by using PLC. Yesterday, Bathlonti madam, they have explained the embedded system for controlling the robot. So that particular system, it also consists of PLC or microcontroller. So we'll see the review. First, I have explained what is the role of motor. Second one, we have seen the types of motors which are used in robotics. Third one, types of supply given to the motor, construction of DC motor, why the stepper motors are used, use of servo motor, and how to control the robot. So we'll now repeat all the part which is covered in webinar. So you have to give answers now. All the students, you have to give answer in chat box. So the first one is the part of DC motor which provides protection to all the internal parts of the motor is. So put the answer in chat box. Okay, C, Hema, Snehal, Aryan. Okay, so right answer, that is yoke. So yoke provides protection to all the internal parts of the motor. Next one, the part of the motor which connects stationary supply to the rotating armature is. Which is this part of the motor which connects external supply to the rotating part? Yes, put the answer in chat box. B, okay, commutator, right. Aryan, Snehal, okay, right answer. So commutator, it connects stationary supply to the rotating armature. That is the main function of commutator in DC motor. Now the next question, which type of motor rotates with the help of feedback control system? Answer is B. Okay. Yes. Right answer, Mansi, Samiksha, Aryan, Snehal, Hema. So servo motor, it rotates with the help of feedback control system. Now the last question, which type of supply is used in domestic application? We are using daily electricity. So which type of electricity or supply we are using? Put your answer in chat box. Okay, again it is B, right answer. So daily we are using single phase AC supply for domestic applications. Okay, thank you so much. Any questions if you have, you can can put it in chat box. All of you, have you understood what are the different types of motors? Construction, it is given in brief. Okay. Thank you so much. Batlonde, madam.
Yes, students. Did you find this session interesting? Okay, thank you students for supporting us. There was some connectivity problem. Now, for students, are you ready to give the answers of some puzzle questions? Can we conduct that session today? Okay.
Yes, we are saying
We'll
yes.
start it. Kevale madam,
Yes.
stop presenting now.
Okay. I have stopped.
We will conduct that puzzle session now.
Okay. Is there any session tomorrow?
अनाउंस करा.
Students, what we'll do, you write down the answers. Okay, total 15 to 16 questions are there. You write down the answer option number. First question number and option number. Okay. And we'll see the answers of those questions afterwards. Okay. Is it okay, student? Okay, so first question, which type of transmission uses the shortest waves? You note down the answer on your notebook, on paper, and afterwards put it on chat box. Have you written? Okay, second question. Again, write down the question number and in front of that, the option number. Where does the symbol @ come from? From Arabic, from Greek, from Latin. This symbol was created for the needs of email. Note down the correct option. Okay, third question. ISO, UPC, and GS1 are the abbreviations of what? First, barcodes, Second, communication systems. Third, navigation systems. Fourth, IP addresses. Note down question number and option number. Fourth question, students. Some mistake is there. That is, what may happen to a lead battery when overcharged? 1. Acid leak. 2. Polarization switch. Third, explosion. Fourth, sulfurization. Actually, these questions are based on physics, chemistry, basic electronics. So try to answer this. Fifth question. What technique are these parking sensors using? First, radar. Second, echo sounding. Third, infrared ranging. Fourth, electromagnetic induction. Have you noted, students? Question number and option number? Write in chat box so that I will come to know you are noting down or not. Okay. Sixth question. Which device converts electricity into acoustic energy? First, microphone. Second, headphone. Third, amplifier. Fourth, preamplifier. Seventh question. In 1953, Samsung began producing its first product, what? First, telephones, sugar, computer memory, integrated circuits. After noting down, please put OK or thumbs up sign. Okay. Next question. What does synthesis gas, that is water gas, consist of? Oxygen and hydrogen, methane and water, carbon dioxide and hydrogen, carbon monoxide and hydrogen. This is the general quiz we have designed, students. Okay, next question. Who carried out the first nuclear fusion reaction in 1938? Otto Hahn, Robert Oppenheimer, Ernest Rutherford, Max Planck. Is it over? Okay, next question, students. Where does water boil at the temperature 37 degrees Celsius? That is not 370, 37 degrees Celsius. or 98.60 Fahrenheit. First, in a microwave oven. Second, at the Armstrong's line. Third, at the Kármán line. Fourth, on Mount Everest. Note down question number and option number. Yes, over. Okay. Next question. What is the name of the wind measuring device? Dynamometer, pedometer, hydrometer, anemometer. I am waiting for you, students. Okay. Next question. Where was the world's first regular TV service? First, Great Britain. Second, Germany. Third, the United States. Fourth, Soviet Union. Next question. What kind of electromagnetic waves does the typical TV remote use? First, radio waves. Second, infrared radiation. Third, ultraviolet. Fourth, ultrasound. Fourteenth question. The bright circle around the sun seen in the picture is known as a halo. What causes it? First, refraction of light in ice crystals. Second, refraction in the lens of the eye or lens. Refraction of light in water drops. Fourth, refraction from the water surface. Completed? Okay. 15th question. It is very easy question, students. And I think by mistakenly, I have put the answer also. What does SMS stand for? Okay. 16th question, last question. Why is the ozone hole dangerous? It speeds up the global warming. It increases ultraviolet radiation. It depletes the oxygen. It disturbs Earth's magnetic field. Okay, students. Have you finished it? Now, when we will see the answers? Right now? Now, you post your answers with the question number and option number. What do you suggest, students? We'll see the answers now. Actually, we want to know your interest. Means your interest is in chemistry, physics, or electronics. So we should come to know that which student is giving the correct answer for chemistry or physics or electronics. So I'm suggesting that you please post your answers here. That is question number and the option number. Or you can post it on a WhatsApp group. Vibhuti madam, any suggestion?
Yes, madam. Huh? Have they posted the answers? Otherwise, on WhatsApp group they can post. Huh?
Because we should come to know that which student is giving correct answer for which field.
Otherwise, what you can do, you can refer also Google. Search on Google, and then you can give answer. These PPTs will upload on WhatsApp. Questions you WhatsApp on WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Upload on WhatsApp group.
Okay.
And one more thing I want to declare here that now on Monday we are having next session. 2 more courses are there. On Monday at 11 a.m. we'll be having web page design, and on 4 p.m. AutoCAD session, engineering drawing. Right? So if they are not knowing answer, you can post afterwards also.
Actually, I am having that PPT, but the students, let's try. Okay, thank you, students. If you are having any query, you can ask. You can switch on your microphone and speak with us. Yevle madam is also there.
Bhatlonde madam?
Huh.
Students can post answers on WhatsApp group, and then we can check, and then we can declare the topper. Is it okay?
Yes, and also we are giving one quiz in Google form also.
So
That
tomorrow we will send the link on the group.
That is there, but this is the extra quiz we have conducted here.
Okay.
Okay.
So tomorrow there will be no session. Instead of session, there will be test on Google Forms. So the link will be provided on the WhatsApp group. So whenever the link is provided, you can give the answers in the Google form. So next session will be directly on the Monday.
Okay. Thank you for joining today's session, all of you. We will conclude over here. You can leave the meeting.
Thank you so much, all students.